if we're saying that axons grow randomly into a target field, simply to fill the target field so that they can later be pruned away by a selection process, that sounds like the same thing to me. If we're saying that, well, no human can know exactly which X chromosome is inactivated in someone's body, which could have pretty humongous consequences developmentally. If we're saying we don't know that, guys, are we embracing purposelessness? If you say yes, then you've just hit the other TE, and you realize you don't have an objection specifically to theistic evolution. You have an objection to people talking about purposelessness, and I do too sometimes, but it's not specific to evolution. How can it be? There are too many things in this world we don't understand that we refer to by saying random, either because we're just clueless or because we really think we can't find underlying causative elements there. All right. Well, let's give the new atheists their moment in the sun. This, by the way, is a brand new website called the website of the BioLogos Foundation. And if you've read Francis Collins's book, The Fingerprint of God, no, that was a big mistake. If you've read his book, then you know that word. It's the title of the sort of crescendo chapter where he describes what everyone else calls theistic evolution, but he calls BioLogos. This website was just launched as foundation. This just went online like yesterday, 2 days ago, I think. Immediately, there was a response from a brilliant scholar named Jerry Coyne. Now, I was being a little sarcastic by referring to him as a brilliant scholar because I hold him in rather low, I have a low opinion of his writings on various topics such as religion. Jerry Coyne is an evolutionary geneticist and a good one. He made his name writing about speciation, the process by which new species come about. He is a brilliant evolutionary biologist. He's not nearly as amazing as some of his fans say he is, but he's the real thing. He's a scientist. He just joined, in a matter of months ago, this crowd that's called the New Atheists that's sort of hostilely going after belief, which personally I think is kind of cool. I'm like, bring it on. But, a lot of people, a lot of the Christians are sort of being driven crazy by this stuff. Here's his blog post on the website. Shoot me now, Francis Collins' new supernaturalist website. Let me just show you. So that's his post. Now the post that I want to show you to show you what he does. He has a link to right here. All right. Truckling to the faithful, a spoonful of Jesus helps Darwin go down. When he writes about evolutionary genetics, he's pretty intelligent, but when he gets in the culture war thing, he sounds like this. Well, anyway, this article is really interesting. What Jerry Coyne is doing is attacking the National Center for Science Education and the AAAS and the National Academy of Sciences. He's furious at all three of them. Now, the National Center for Science Education is a public advocacy group defending the teaching of evolution, regularly reviled by Christians who think, well, it's run by atheists. Jerry Coyne's going after them. Why? Because they say, quite openly, that belief and acceptance of evolution can be compatible. And this drives Jerry Coyne bananas. He can't stand it. Now, let me tell you, can we just read this together? Because I want you to watch this thing. It's sort of like watching a CGI movie where somebody morphs into a werewolf or something like that. They look like a normal person and they sort of turn into something else. All right, so it says here, if you're a regular at this website, you've heard me complain about scientific organizations.
Can we get larger?
Oh, sorry, yeah. All right. Can we see it? And there's a really important bait and switch that happens here, people. If you're a regular, you've heard me complain about scientific organizations that sell what? Well, it says evolution by insisting that it's perfectly consistent with religion. Evolution, they say, threatens many people's religious views, yada, yada, yada. Professional societies, here are some of them that tick him off, have concluded that to make evolution palatable to Americans, you must show it's not only consistent with religion, but no threat to it. All right, let's go on a little further. So this is all about evolution, right? Here, I argue that the accommodationist position of the National Academy, and especially the National Center, is a self-defeating tactic. By seeking union with religious people, Where am I emphasizing there is no genuine conflict between what? Faith and what? This is typical of Jerry Coyne and a lot of the folks like him. It starts off talking about evolution. It's not about evolution. It's about science. Jerry Coyne thinks we're idiots for believing at all, and he thinks that our belief is incompatible with science. He starts by talking about evolution. He ends by talking about science. He knows it's not TE that he doesn't like. It's T. Sometimes he'll admit it. Typically, he plays this game. All right, every single one of these atheist commentators, they say, guys, you can't believe in supernatural things and do your science. Oh, I know, Ken Miller does it. You can do it, but you have to be a nutcase to do it. Or you have to be careful self-denial about all the silly cognitive dissonance in your head, yada, yada, yada. But they're not compatible. People, that's not a debate about evolution. You yahoos who think that things fall to earth under their own power and not because God holds all things together, you've got the same problem. All of us have the same problem. This is an attack on T, not an attack on TE. And let's hear it. And let's have that discussion. And let's have someone answer Jerry Coyne. I personally don't think it's worth the keystrokes, but maybe others disagree. There's no point in pretending that this is a controversy about theistic evolution. It's not. This is an attack on belief by an unbeliever. Some unbelievers who attack belief are nice people. Let's talk to them, but let's not confuse it with a controversy over theistic evolution. Next website. You didn't think we were going to do this without visiting Uncommon Descent. All right, this is the website, the sort of main website for the intelligent design community. At least that's what it calls itself, the website of the intelligent design community. Notice this, the title of this article, Theistic Evolutionists, your position is incoherent, but we can help you. Naturally, I was delighted. I'm always looking for help. So I was eager to see how these folks would be able to help me. Let me find the place that matters to us. We want to find a paragraph that starts here. I would not have a problem understanding evolution as a creation tool if TE is conceived of evolution as a tool in the strict sense. We're going to visit this randomness thing now, by the way. A tool in the strict sense is fully in the control of the tool user, and the results it achieves when properly used by a competent user are not due to chance, but to intelligence and skill. Darwin's mechanism leaves room for neither intelligence nor skill. It is the unconscious operation of impersonal natural selection upon mutations which are the products of chance. It follows that Darwinian evolution is not a tool, but an autonomous process, and therefore out of God's control. Now, I don't personally know a whole lot of Reformed Christians who even use this phrase right here, but let's consider this objection. Again, not whether you think it's silly or even right or wrong, but simply whether you think it picks out something specific about theistic evolution, and I'm going to argue that it doesn't. Theistic embryology makes explanatory use of random events. We don't usually write papers called impersonal axonal pruning, but I guess we could. This is not a specific attack on theistic evolution, as near as I can tell. It's an attack on careless talk about impersonal, unguided chance, words like that get people's hackles up, and probably should. And if these folks are annoyed about careless talk about purposelessness, then again, let's hear it. But let's not single it out as a problem for theistic evolution. I'm not sure it is. By the way, I would love to hear from logic people, unlike me, slightly less logic challenged, whether this sentence can hold up. It seems not to me, but that would be fun to do sometime later. Perhaps you can think of other examples of objections to theistic evolution and put them in front of the theistic embryology test and ask if they stand up. I've got one more that I'll just throw out there. An atheist objection to, well, when they're being honest, simply to belief, but always to theistic evolution is as follows. Well, it's silly. Why be theistic? Your God is just a superfluous add-on. He's got no explanatory power. Whether that makes you mad or you think it's wrong or you want to debate that atheist about it or not, that's not a specific criticism of theistic evolution. Theistic embryology suffers the same underneath that scrutiny.